Welcome to Orange County Power Players, where we spotlight the personal, professional, and financial success stories of OC's top leaders. Here's your host, Danny Flores.
Welcome back to OC Power Players. My name is Danny Flores, your host, and our honored guest today is Brandon Cutler, zooming in from Corona. Brandon is a seasoned professional in the field of surface design and installation. At a young age of 19, he started his career working for an installation company based in Santa Ana. Since then, he has spent 20 years plus working on the manufacturing side of flooring. Currently, he is the national sales manager for Urban Surfaces. Welcome, Brandon.
Well, thank you, Danny. And also, first and foremost, congratulations on your success with your podcast. It's truly an honor to be invited.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So tell us a little bit about what you do. I mean, we were talking right before and we saw the material behind you in the warehouse. Tell us about it.
Well, I work for Urban Surfaces. We are a flooring manufacturer that for the last, I would say, 25 years has really been focused on providing flooring material, specifically vinyl plank, to the multifamily space, multi-unit space, I'll say. And so we try to keep healthy inventories at bay at all times so that when there's large projects and needs that come up, either for the multifamily side for new construction, and or once that property is handed over to a property management company, there's enough inventory for the unit turns. So people moving in and out of properties. Mm-hmm. We like to consider ourselves expert in that space of providing project material to the subcontractors out there installing the material.
Wow, that's great. And I know that it's the modern thing or the in thing now to use plank in the dwellings, right? Because it's not real wood, but it's durable, right? And from what I understand is if they get damaged in between, you can literally take that one piece out and basically replace it.
Yeah, technology has changed. It used to be a carpet only market. Mm-hmm. So when you get in apartments, you would find wall-to-wall carpet, and then aesthetics and design and technologies have changed where it really gives the property owner some diversity. And as it stands right now, luxury vinyl plank is really found in a lot of the multifamily properties across the country now, wall to wall. So the durability of the product, the ability to abuse it, so to speak, with tenants moving in and out and getting some turns out of it has become a kind of a sought after feature of this product line.
Now, you guys are distributors to the floor installers. Is that how it works?
That is correct. So we really focus our attention on the hardworking blue collar installers that this is what they do for a living. Mm-hmm. And they feed their families by getting on their knees and installing flooring wall to wall. And we just try to be that dependable supplier that has material when they need it, so there's no product delays. That's a huge challenge in today's market, is making sure you partner up with somebody that has the material when you need it.
Now going back 4 years back to COVID, how did that affect your business? Because that's always the issue or the thought process in the contractors and the property management companies to be able to have the material at hand, right, when you need it. Now in COVID, did something stop, or did you guys figure something unique out to be able to continue that?
I think it's an excellent question. I can't say that as a company we didn't have our challenges, because I think everyone did.
Right.
Most of the material that is produced comes from overseas. Mm-hmm. With regards to where the material comes from. And so we instantly had challenges like everyone else around the country. Right. But I think as a company as a whole, the owners of our company are ex-installers. They're blue collar themselves, so they understood the value of taking care of the property management companies. And it really shined through at least for our company during COVID. Mm-hmm. We had to make some strategic moves. And what I mean by that is we put some thought in it and decided not to open up any new customers during COVID. The reason being because inventory was sought after.
Right.
And we've had partners that we've been working with for a couple decades that deserved to have inventory when they needed it. So by putting a brake on adding any new customers and really utilizing our material to support those who had been supporting us the 2 decades before COVID,
Right.
proved to us to be a power move. It was like, you know what? We're going to support those who have been with us before tragedy occurred.
Right.
And
Right.
we're gonna just really be that supplier that holds the brakes and supplies our partners for what they need. And so we dealt with the same challenges of giving inventory in, but I think us putting a pause on not letting greed get in the way,
Mhm.
not allowing opportunistics to take our inventory and give it to everyone who needed it, but really providing it for our customers,
Right.
proved to be a really nice gesture, and it really showed the core of who we are as a company.
Right. No, that looks like and sounds like a really good move. Take care of your customers, your existing customers, and then and they'll take care of you. So they've been taking care of you for, like you said, the last 20 years. So now we know that customers also have choices in different types of floors. What sets you guys apart and I know it could be more than one thing, not only in quality, but in availability, in consistency and colors, because sometimes you might have changed floors 3 years ago and you want to be able to get the same
Virginia Cutler.
patches. So how do you guys make yourselves, I don't want the best, if you're the best or one of the best in the industry?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. When it comes to vinyl floor covering, I like to use analogy. It's almost like the bread and butter of the industry. So how do you stand out when you're offering bread and butter, right?
Mhm.
It's a commodity. It's being used a lot. And as well as we make a great product and we market it extremely well, and there are some enhancements we make to our product, it's really not what makes us shine as a company. It's the service behind the product. And so some of the major pain points that exist in multifamily has to do with project delivery. If you're a property owner that is out there, or a company that's acquiring properties, the last thing you want as a contractor is be halfway through the development stages and you're building out and realize that a specific product has been dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got to start from square zero. You have to repick colors. It causes a lot of chaos, confusion, and frustration. So as a
Right.
company, we've set up, and again, this goes back to the owners of our company being ex-installers. They just get it. Like, we have a policy that we don't drop colors outright. In fact, we're still selling colors that were popular 20 years ago to certain property management companies because it matches the cabinets they have. Now,
Right.
we may not take that color and advertise it as being sold, but instead of just dropping the product, we move it to a category that's just special order.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that property might have to wait 3 or 4 months for us to stop making current colors and then produce a batch that will match the colors that they were buying 20 years ago. But
Mm-hmm.
we understand that you can't just, as a manufacturer, drop something and make everyone panic, especially when that dropping of a product or color happens mid-project, which becomes
Right.
a major problem. So we've set up kind of like different standards and protocols for a company so that we try to eliminate the pain points that
Mm-hmm.
exist in project development and project supplying of material.
Now that's really important because you're building a 300 unit building and you have hiccups on your supplies. It starts costing you real money, and the carrying costs, capital carrying costs, if you start going over budgets, if the guys that come after the flooring, whether it's the installing the appliances or whoever, they start getting backed up too, and now they got to move, right? Everybody's got to move.
Yeah, and I think no one thinks about what happens after the flooring's in.
Right.
So even after the flooring's installed, what can we do as a company to really stand behind the installers that are doing the work? And so typically what happens is if there's a problem with the flooring, it usually comes down to either the material itself and or the subfloor prep that was done.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for a manufacturer to send a third-party inspector out there, and many times the installer is left with the decision like how long does it take for them to figure out what went wrong with the product?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be all left on me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a manufacturer that, again, the owners used to be installers, we stand behind not only the product, but we really try to set up protocols in place that we don't leave the installer hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that means us donating some extra material when it's really not the manufacturer's responsibility, but it's really providing our partners,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that we're not going to leave them with an issue. And then
Right.
number two, we do a lot of training of installers that the manufacturer, our company, provides our partners.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big labor shortage right now, where it used to be that those with skills, those that have 20, 30 years in the industry, would just train their kids to come on the family business, and
Right.
that skill set was passed on. Well, times have changed. The kids don't want to work on their
Right.
hands and knees anymore. They want to become bloggers and influencers, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they want to get in that business. Well, then there's a shortage of really good talent out there. Well, what are the manufacturers doing to help our partners? So Urban Surfaces has hired a bunch of ex-installers that are on staff. And when we see a problem that's existing on our material, maybe we're asked to do a job walk and there's a defect somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
we don't just leave that problem saying it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
We say, can we send some of our experts out there that have been doing this for 20, 30 years too? Can we work with your install teams to point out what went wrong? And
Mm-hmm.
can we help train them so they don't make the same mistake again? So as a company, that we've proven to be a really good value. A, we're not leaving our guys stranded, our partners.
Right.
Number two, we're providing real solutions to their install team and helping them get better, which
Right.
means there'll be less issues with our products when it's installed. And
Right.
so we pride ourselves really on having a hands-on approach to helping our customers from the beginning of the project all the way through till we know they hand that keys off to the owner and it's a well installed product property.
Right. Right. And you don't want any callbacks. That's the thing, right? When you start moving people in, and you don't want them saying, "Hey, my floor is falling apart," or this, any callbacks in anything, right? So that's quality is key and super important.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we want them to use us after to the next project and the one after that. And so a true partner is there from beginning to end. And even after the fact, if there's an issue, we want to be there for our subcontractor partners who work extremely hard to
Mm-hmm.
put food on their back and take care of their families. Well, we're the same thing as a manufacturer. We just want to be there together. And when you start from grassroots, like our company did, uh, we actually lean on our partners to grow together, not necessarily one person outshining the other.
Right. No, it's teamwork, right? You work as a team.
Absolutely.
So what comes easy to you guys where others find it challenging?
I think being nimble and not being closed-minded. So sometimes as you grow as a company, you tend to lose sight of what got you where you're at. Your culture changes as you grow super fast. What you were intent on helping with becomes a distant memory of the past. And so we've really tried to be a company that remembers where we started from
Mm-hmm.
and be nimble. Uh, there's nothing outside the box that we won't explore. So sometimes we have new product categories that were brought to our repertoire, say our toolbox, simply because one of our partners came to us and said, "Do you guys also have this?" "Oh, you don't? Well, can you bring it on board?" And
Mm-hmm.
so all of a sudden, as a company, we have to take stock of what we have and say, well, can we do it?
Right. Right.
That's hard sometimes for a manufacturer to be nimble enough and to move. I like to say there's when you become really large as a manufacturer, you're kind of like the Titanic, really
Right.
slow moving ship.
Right.
But
Right.
if you
Right.
can take your company and act more like a speedboat and be able just to zoom around and pivot and to change course and direction, you're
Right.
that much more valuable to the companies who are coming to us and saying, here's how you can help us grow by bringing this to the market or that to the market.
Right.
So we
Right.
try not to be closed-minded, and we want to be adaptable.
That's great. Yeah, having that flexibility and being nimble to be able to expand or add new products to fill in that need in the market. I mean, what more do you want? If you're the buyer or the installer, then you have a company that grows with you. For you guys, you grow with your partners and you help them grow. I mean, it's a perfect combination for success.
And I think that adaptability is what's made us kind of an interesting option when it comes to flooring, because we have to really understand in multifamily who's all involved. So
Mm-hmm.
you do have a property owner
Mm-hmm.
who really wants to provide a viable property that is beneficial for the community, and then
Mm-hmm.
he wants to move on to the next project. You have the
Right.
general contractor who's hired by that property who is committed to finishing that project by a certain date.
Right. Right.
And then that general contractor hires a sub to actually do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us as a manufacturer, we want to understand all aspects of the opinion of all these players within multifamily. They all have different needs. They
Right.
all have different desires and outcomes they want to achieve. But how can we as a manufacturer really understand their viewpoint and then adjust to the way we do business to carry these multifamily large projects through? And so, even as a company, we've stayed out of a lot of channels that cause conflict with inventory. We stay out of the big box stores, we stay out of the
Mm-hmm.
retail stores
Mm-hmm.
intentionally so that the inventory, when it's brought in, is devoted to help these projects move through quickly. And as we all know, time is money. And
Right.
projects, we already have enough delays out there, interest rates and getting the
Right.
right money to flow in when it needs to. The
Mm-hmm.
last thing that's done before the keys are handed over is the painting and the flooring. We don't want to be an obstacle. So by understanding these different viewpoints, we can provide different values at different times.
Now that's really interesting that you said that you stay out of the big box stores, whereas other people might be dying to get into the big box store. You say, no, wait a minute. We have we have a finite amount of production that we can produce. Let's give it to the guys, right? To the guys in the industry rather than to the big box stores. And I think that's probably a game changer for you guys because yeah, I totally understand how they have to have that material when they need it and they're planning a big project. It's got to keep coming in at, X amount of boxes of supplies on a monthly basis because they got to push out X amount of units. And it's got to be there, stay on schedule. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think I've worked for other manufacturers in the past, and what's interesting is sometimes the opportunistic opportunities that pop up out of nowhere can cause conflict
Mm-hmm.
with projects that are already on in the docket. And
Mm-hmm.
so the hard part is you'll get a call last minute from someone that says, "Hey, I'll even pay a little extra money for that flooring because I need it right now." And as a manufacturer, we may have it on the shelf, but it's really designated for a project that we've been working on for 18 months.
Right.
It's very difficult sometimes to say no to someone who can hand you a check right now for that material
Right.
for a project that's still 3, 4 weeks away.
Yeah.
It's really having the foresight and saying, you know what, we're going to say no to that last minute opportunity because we've committed our material and we've made a promise.
Mm-hmm.
One of our mottos for the company is that we honor our promises so our customers can honor theirs. Well, if
That's
we're going to hold true to that motto, we're going to have to say no to some things because it can give us money today.
mhm.
And in order to honor the promises that we made, 12 months ago, 16 months ago. So for us, it's about inventory control. And we've had to be very, very targeted and intentional on who we do business with and who we don't, because it could disrupt the market for us.
Right. No, that's kind of really good strategy there and being able to implement that and stay true to that, right? Stay true to your word. And that's key. That when you're dealing with contractors, if you told them in 4 weeks it'd be there and you tell them 4 weeks later when they need it that it's not there, now they have issues and they're not going to be happy.
Yeah, it comes down to trust. If every
Yeah.
time they call you, say sorry, it's a back order.
Yeah.
At what point do we become obsolete? Like then there goes our value. Because again, when you're in a commodity market,
Mm-hmm.
if we can't set ourselves out about being, hey, we have a different value prop, and yes, we make a great product, and that's awesome. That's really cool. Our products are designed with sound in mind for sound abatement, which is important in multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
But if we provide a great product, but we can't service it, what value are we?
Right.
So we really try to focus on the service aspects and staying humble.
Mhm.
We need to help the middleman. We have to help the subcontractors out, which sometimes get lost in the fold
Mhm.
behind the big business of multifamily.
Mhm. So what's been your biggest challenge in your career?
Uh, f- Good question. I, I would say for me, just I manage a lot of people right now, and so for me, is being balanced.
Mhm.
I love coaching young, hungry, talented salespeople like I was 20 years ago,
Mhm.
and it's teaching the younger generation the same values of what made the great leaders today to remain that way. I think COVID really messed up a lot of
Mhm.
people. The
Change.
young talent coming out today have a hard time looking in your eyes and talking to you, giving you a
Right.
handshake.
Yeah.
They rely on devices and social media to communicate. Well, in the
Mhm.
construction world, we're still a handshake
Mhm.
type of we appreciate looking at someone in the eyes, and it's relational. So for me as a coach is really when I hire, try to find those that can represent our brand well, and then just continue to coach for success. For so I manage a team across the country proudly in behalf of our company, and making sure that they represent us extremely well. And we've got a great team in hand. So for me, it's not spreading myself too thin as we grow.
Right.
And really listening. We've got some great leaders within our organization. So for me, it's not delegating, I'll say, using the talent that I have attached to me within this company to say, hey, I need a little help, or hey, our team is getting larger and larger. What can I do to get your assistance to get them up to speed? So
Right.
that would I would say is my biggest challenge as a professional is
Mhm.
staying true to who I am and delegating as needed,
Right.
to make
Right.
sure that our team gets what they deserve to.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a wonderful job, and so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So many people in your position like to look for other ways to generate income passively, um, to either set themselves up as a tool for retirement or additional income that doesn't take your time from what you love passionately. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? It's interesting you say that. There's some people that are really intentional, like, hey, what else can I do to add to my nest egg?
Mhm.
Um, I find myself very fortunate to get in the flooring business to start, and it's always taken care of me. There's certain trades out there that just seem to treat people extremely well.
Mhm.
And I always tell people whether you're in pharmaceutical sales, it's usually a ticket in because there's always people getting sick. There's always a need for new technologies to make you better. We all want to live a long time. The
Mhm.
construction industry seems to be that valuable source. And then multifamily, there's always people moving in and out of apartments. So for
Mhm.
me, I kind of fell into the flooring world.
Mhm.
I've been working full time since I was 15
Mhm.
and have never stopped working full time. And knock on wood, I've always had work and it's been attached to the construction business. So at
Mhm.
19, as you mentioned earlier in the intro, I got a job working at a flooring installation company in Santa Ana.
Mhm.
And my daughter was born. I was like 24 years old. And when I realized after she was born that, man, I couldn't be in flooring my whole life. Everyone over 40 could barely walk. Uh,
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
backs, bad knees, and I thought I was getting out, and I got sucked right back in.
Right.
But here's what I've known: the flooring industry, the construction industry, the multifamily industry is a very a beautiful business. You meet some great people,
Mhm.
and if you work hard, you're blessed. You'll find work if you associate and with people of like-minded thinking.
Mhm.
Work will come your way,
Mhm.
and that's exactly what's happened to me. I've had a bright future for the last 30 years. I don't tend to retire for another 20.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love the people that I'm around, and as such, I plan to continue doing what I'm doing, and the rest I leave with God. And and as a result, my family, myself, my wife, my daughter, have had a very nice life, and our needs have been met.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So as we wrap up our interview, what does 2025 look like for you?
I'm excited. I think as a company, we're growing exponentially. We are growing across the country, and so whenever you have growth, there's a natural excitement that comes with it. I think with the changes in the political scene, you never know what's going to happen with regards to construction, but there's a lot of pent-up demand. There's a lot of projects because of interest rates and banking that have been on pause all through 2024. So there's been a little anxiety on when that bubble is going to pop. But the reality is there's a need for housing, whether it be homeless housing or affordable living. All the devastating fires that have been out here in LA, there's a need for homes. And so we happen to be in an industry that's right here in everyone's backyard that we can help. And we can help a lot of the builders and contractors and architect and designers that have a lot of work to do. And it's not just California. There's national disasters across the country, hurricanes and tornadoes. And when you're in the manufacturing side, especially like flooring, there's a need. So having us as a company kind of ready to go with the right mindset, with inventory, with really taking care of the contractors, we're in a good spot. So 2025, 2026, I'm pretty excited about.
Very good. And if the interest rates drop, then it's all uphill from there.
As hold on, write it out, and let's hope that we can be a good resource for everyone.
Yes. Well, thanks so much Brandon, for reaching out and giving us your insights and what you do. If somebody that's listening wants to reach out to you, how would they get a hold of you?
Very simply, you could go to our website, which is www.urbansurfaces.com. You can always reach out to me directly. My email address is brandon.c, short for Cutler, my last name, @urbansurfaces.com. But feel free to give us a ring, swing by our offices here in Corona, California. We would love to meet and talk with you and just look for an opportunity to see if we could be a good partner.
Very good. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Danny, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Orange County Power Players. Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at ocpowerplayers.com/guest.